Coming up on Colonial SportsCenter, after their first NCAA tournament win in 32 years, RMU took on Duke. Could Coach Toole outcoach Coach
And highlights from Rochester, man from Nassau, Minnesota, derails the Colonials' record-breaking season.
Thanks for interrupting me. Coming up next.
You're welcome.
And welcome back to a freshly shaved edition of Colonial SportsCenter. I'm John Fisher, and I'm lying.
Terrible joke.
How are you?
You know, it's that time of year when you gotta let the mustache grow out a little bit. One more time before spring.
I have some AA batteries. Do you need any? All right, so yes, we have a packed show for you all. We're going to discuss the men's basketball team trek to the NCAA tournament and the men's hockey team's short-lived journey in the AHC tournament. Does that still hit home for you? Too soon? Okay. We also are going to talk about the freshmen coming in next year, as far as we know right now. And we even have an RMU player going pro already.
Already.
Did I forget anything?
Nope.
We have lacrosse highlights, well, results, too. Give them some love. So, anyway, let's go to some men's hoops. Kentucky, no problem, right? St. John's, St. John's. North Florida, they wish.
Bye.
Now, the next in front of the RMU men's basketball team were the Duke Blue Devils. A 16 seed has never beat a 1. Could that actually happen? Let's find out. I mean, you probably watched the game already, huh?
Maybe. I didn't watch the game.
There was Julian Okafor, and there was Coach Toole. He had to stop him, and it was nearly impossible. So Rodney Pryor's long two will take the lead 2-0 Colonials. See, they actually were leading Duke. RMU up 2 until Quinn Cook touched the ball. 1 of 6 threes there for him. Marquise Reed. Kick out to Lucky Jones for the 3. RMU down 13 really early on. Now the next play. Julian Okafor knew it didn't count, but he slams it anyway with one hand. 25-12 Duke. Now Justice Winslow tells Okafor to take flight, son. 18-point lead Blue Devils. Rodney Pryor, get on my level. Tells Quinn Cook to, well, get on his level. Long 2 there for Rodney Pryor. Duke up 21. Marquise Reed is wide open. Pass it, Jackie. He did, actually. He didn't want it that time. Now Tyus Jones sees Marshall Plumlee and alley-oop. Why not? That's one of many on the night. Pryor, he can slam dunk too, you know. You know, I tweeted that. I got like 20 retweets.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Now, easily the player of the night. Lucky Jones rejects Okafor. Talk about your one shining moment in the NCAA tournament. And now under a minute in the first. Reed for 3. 42-25 Duke at halftime. There was some promise for Colonial fans after the slam dunk inbound alley-oop from Okafor. Yeah, you know, you got me there. So Pryor not giving up yet. His 1 of 10 field goals on the night. Now then 18. RMU making a run. Pryor from deep. Nothing but net. Down 14. Colonials making this interesting. Lucky Jones open for the layup. Now within 12. Dante, could a 16 really beat a 1?
Who knows?
Pryor finds the loose ball. He is going to make it 10.
Maybe.
And Pryor, after Duke answered, give it to him. And then Coach K called a timeout, and that was really history. Winslow
Do you believe in
for
miracles?
2. What's that?
Do you believe in miracles?
Well, not this time. Tyus Jones for 3. As you can tell, the lead is expanding. And because we're homers, a Pryor slam dunk. And finally, to cap it all off, Emil Jefferson requested to be in the highlight. He tweeted at us. Well, there you go, Emil. As Duke wins 85-56. Despite a strong performance from Rodney Pryor as well as Marquise Reed, the Colonials fell to Coach K and the Duke Blue Devils to end their season in Charlotte. RMU fans had hope when the Colonials pulled to within 10 in the second half. Then Quinn Cook, who you just witnessed, hit 1 of his 6 threes to help secure a Duke victory. Lucky Jones only put 7 points on the stat sheet, ending his RMU career. Now let's hear from Lucky Jones and Rodney Pryor on the game and their season in general.
They just congratulated us on a great season, congratulated me on my season, and with my story of my injuries and stuff like that. So that's encouraging going to next year.
Now, what did it mean for you in your first year at RMU to, help lead this team to the NCAA tournament? Not only get here, but also win a game.
Oh, it means a lot. Like missing 2 years in a row and then coming in and having this season, like I said, is a blessing. God's been good to me for a long time now, and to come in and play well and be a leader of this team and make plays for this team has just been a blessing.
And thank you, Rodney. We couldn't get Lucky Jones. A very emotional night for him. So let's talk to somebody who's played with a couple of the Blue Devils. Jamel Sessoms. Jamel, my partner in crime on the court. How you doing, my friend?
Welcome. I feel welcome.
You're welcoming me. I should be welcoming you.
Well, last time we talked, it was actually at the last home game.
Quarterfinals,
exactly.
Man.
So I feel glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Now, overall impressions of the game against Duke. Not the result everyone wanted. However, pulled within 10. that's impressive.
Right. I think after the timeout that Coach K called, I mean, you're going against a Division I, basically legend, so to speak. So experience plays a big role. So I would say, the Colonials did put up a great fight, but at the end of the day, experience is everything. I mean, you're talking about a Duke team that's ranked number 1 on their side of the bracket, and possibly the best Duke team that has actually been in the NCAA tournament.
They're up there, absolutely.
Right, and they actually play tomorrow night in the Sweet 16. So for the Colonials team to actually go up against this kind of Duke Blue Devils team, that speaks a lot about them as well as this young team too. So I'm excited to see what they're going to have next year as well. And
that's really interesting. Well, later on in the show, Dante and I are going to get to who they're bringing in. So far, they have 2 players that have officially signed on to Robert Morris for the 2015-16 season. They bring back all 5 starters.
All 5 starters, and not to mention they only graduated how many seniors? 2 seniors.
And one of them, unfortunately, was injured for the better half of the season, Dave Apollon.
Right, so it's going to be interesting to see how off-season training goes and how off-season workouts go, and pretty much like Coach Andy Toole said, asking, projection for next year, it starts in the off-season. That's where everything happens. That's where you work on your craft, and we talked about it during the season too, when you come into a playoff kind of setting, and we talked about this too. When you come into a playoff kind of setting, what really separates you from the rest of the field is how you prepared before in the preseason. So if you prepare hard and put yourself in stressful situations, by the time you come into a quarterfinal game, finals game, and if everything goes as planned, the NCAA game, it's basically second nature. You're just having fun and you do what you got to do.
Now, despite the loss in the second round, I think it's also a great thing for the program to be nationally recognized. Coach K saying how great of a job Andy Toole did, not just for the team, but for the program. The RMU is now the gold standard of basketball in the Northeast Conference. I mean, how many times have they been to the NEC Finals in the last 4 years? 3 times. How many NCAA tournament appearances? 3 times in the last 6 years.
Right.
I mean, how can you beat them right now?
Oh, they're definitely a program that's on fire. And I would say Andy Toole has done a tremendous job with this ball club. And if he continues this, who can tell what this program will do or where they will go? I think they can go really far in years to come, depending on the players that they get and with the national attention that they've gotten. I read somewhere that there was 18 billboards in the Pittsburgh area with Robert Morris on them. So if that doesn't speak words, something what they did on the national stage on national television does.
Now I really need to get into Marquise Reed. 6 NEC Rookie of the Week awards.
That's a record.
No. 7.
7. Yes.
A record.
Yes.
Okay. Not only that, he showed Duke up. He and Rodney Pryor both did, each scoring over 20 points. In fact, against ACC teams all year, Reed has scored over 20 points.
And it speaks a lot of words about what kind of player Marquise Reed is. But when you got to think about it, there's a circuit called AAU basketball. When you factor in AAU basketball and college basketball, they have a similar kind of play with them. Kids have a chance to get on that national level or national stage and produce in front of college scouts or in front of potential NBA players. I had the chance to do that too. I played against Quinn Cook. Quinn Cook, tremendous player.
Incredible.
Even in high school, he was doing the same thing that he's doing now. So definitely, AAU played a big role in how the NCAA tournament basically experienced.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but one last question, really quick. In one word, describe the season that RMU had.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
And you were outstanding as well. Jamal, thank you so much. We look forward to having you on, hopefully before we graduate. So take great care, and I love your suit.
Oh, thank you.
So let's go from the season to some leaders. It's clear that Robert Morris hoops wouldn't be where they are without the help of the 3-headed monster. Lucky Jones, Rodney Pryor, and the NEC Rookie of the Year, Marquise Reed, were the Colonials' big 3. Each of them averaged 14 or more points this year, while also playing some defense. For example, against North Florida in the first 4 games, Pryor had 20, Reed had 19, and Lucky scored 21. All points, by the way. Those 3 men propelled RMU to their first NCAA tournament victory in 32 years. And speaking of one of those big 3, Dante, tell me.
Surprise. As the clock hit 0:00 at the Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte, not only did it signal the end of the Robert Morris basketball season, but the end of the class of the 2015 team on the hardwood as Colonials. But boy, oh boy, what a 4 years for those 2 seniors. For Lucky Jones and Dave Apollon, During their 4 seasons here at RMU, they were 2-time NEC regular season champs, 2015 NEC tournament champions. The duo was also able to participate in a postseason tournament all 4 seasons, going 6-4, with victories in the CBI, NIT, and the NCAA tournament. From all of us here at Colonial SportsCenter, we wish Lucky and Dave the best of luck in the future. You know what they can say?
What's that?
They beat Kentucky.
They did beat Kentucky. And don't forget, we will be talking about who are going to try to replace those two later on in the show. 2 big ones, one recruit from New Jersey, where Lucky's from. So
It's got to be good karma.
has to be. We hear that he is a clone of Lucky Jones, but faster, if that's even possible. So
Faster.
I've been on way too much. What's coming up next? Tell the people.
Coming up next, we're going to look at the men's hockey team's time in Rochester.
Short-lived.
Yeah, and Matt Geico will come on to talk with me about it too. He's not happy either. We're going to try and find something good to talk about.
Hope you don't
The
miss
future. No, we'll come back.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Well, bienvenidos back to CSC. Last weekend in Rochester, New York, the Robert Morris men's hockey team was looking to become the first Atlantic Hockey Conference team since Air Force did in 2012 and 2011 to repeat as AHT tournament champions, standing in their way in the semifinal in-state rival Mercyhurst. Highlights, all the way from the Blue Cross Arena.
Hey, did they make it to the finals?
That was cruel. Almost 5 minutes into the game, Kyle Just on the power play puts it home. 1-0 lead for the Lakers in the road greens. Then 2 minutes later, Ryan Mishka also on the power play. Bam, 2-0, 6.5 minutes into the contest. Not the start for the Colonials, but we'll take a look at a replay. John, gosh, that's just a replay of the first goal. That's exactly what it looked like. Anywho, 2 minutes later on the power play, the Colonials finally put a puck home. It gets past Brandon Walden. Zach Lynch puts it home. All 3 goals in the first period scored on the power play. There were 3 of the 4 power plays in the contest itself. 2-1 lead for Mercyhurst at the end of one. We'll go to the second period. Under 30 seconds left. Cody Wido gets past Brandon Wild on the 27th shot of the period for the Colonials. They outshot Mercyhurst 27-6, and on the 27th one, Wido put it home. Tied at 2 at the end of the second period.
I heard that's all it takes is 27.
Oh boy. John Ray's shot blocked in front by Wildung. It gets poked home. The goal awarded to Brendan Denham, but then switched to Scott Jacklin, his second point of the evening. 3-2 lead for Rob Morris. Under 40 seconds left in the game. Puck shot in front. Isaac makes the save, but Chris Bodo puts it home, and we're tied. The RIT fans happy. They want nothing to do with the Robert Morris
Dante,
Colonials.
You were there. Was that a save that could have been made?
Oh gosh. Oh boy, just wait for this one.
Matt
John.
Geica's shaking his head.
Wait for this one. Cody Wido feeds it to Gibson. Look at this pretty feed to Gibson. and he stonewalled by the freshman. That was the goal. That was it. I thought that was in. We were all going to go home happy. Well, we'd stay for another day and then go home happy. But then a few minutes later, Zach Frischman puts it past Dalton Isaac,
who almost went off to the bench before shooting that puck.
Yep, he almost went off, and that'll do it. You see the shock and awe on the face of the Colonials. In a blink of an eye, the Colonials' record-breaking season came to a heartbreaking end, led by a 59-save performance from freshman Brandon Wildung, which set the record for the most saves at the Atlantic Hockey Championships. The 4 Laker goals were scored by 4 seniors who were making their 4th appearance in Rochester, 4th goal in 7 years ago. Meanwhile, RMU seniors Cody Wido and Scott Jacklin would each record a goal and an assist in what would be both players' final contests in an RMU sweater. Here are the post-game thoughts from head coach Derek Schooley following the 4-3 overtime loss in Rochester.
Anytime you double a team in shots, put them 62 in the grade A's we had and 100+ attempts, we just couldn't finish around the net. And we had the chance at the end with in the last minute to win a couple of battles here and there, and unfortunately we didn't get the puck out. They got a goal, and then the overtime shot, long distance shot. But I'm really proud of our guys. I said before the game that we didn't want to have any regrets, and if we got beat, we got beat, and we didn't have any regrets tonight. I mean, we obviously have regrets of not scoring, but it's not like we went out and laid an egg.
And with that, we'll bring in men's hockey SID Matt Gajka to break down what was it was a rough weekend, to say the very least. Matt, how's it going?
It was going great until I had to watch those highlights again. That's the first time I've seen those highlights since the night, and I'm still shocked that at least they didn't make it on to the final. Would have been a great game against RIT, but didn't even get the chance.
Yeah, and so looking at this RMU season, obviously it didn't end very well, but there's nothing for this team to hang their heads on. It was an incredible season.
No, nothing at all. And even if you just look at the game against Mercyhurst, Dante, 62 shots on goal, 60 through regulation. That set a program record, and it wasn't even close. And all the opportunities, you saw Coach Schooley talk about the grade A opportunities, they were there. You saw the one from Greg Gibson, even after you give up the late lead to win it in overtime, and it didn't happen. But I was talking to actually Greg Gibson down at the Island today and Coach Schooley for our final interviews of the season. And they said what you said. No regrets on how they played. 24 wins, that's 4 more than they ever had in program history. 8 losses is the fewest ever. And the best record in Atlantic hockey since 2009-10 when RIT went all the way to the Frozen Four. So just another banner season, unfortunately, as you say, ending a bit early.
Now, looking at Cody Wido, it was only a matter of time before he left, and he signed. It was official today, he signed with Wheeling. How big is it for him? I think he's the 9th player now to go to Wheeling, and I think the first one since Chris Kushnerik. It seems like any Colonial just gets bound for Wheeling.
Well, I could think of worse places to go for sure. The Nailers are close by, good for us. We can all go down and check him out. I think the Nailers have 5 regular season home games left before the playoffs start. So he'll get an opportunity here to really show his stuff at the pro level. ECHL, I think we can all say that Cody Wido has higher goals than that, but he's going to have to prove himself in Wheeling, and he'll get the opportunity here late in the season.
And now, looking at this team going forward, you lose a lot, but in such a small package in Wido, Jacklin, it's Jones and Rigatti, but those bodies are big holes to fill, but yet the defense returns, and so do both goaltenders.
Yeah, it's a case of, like you said, you lose a ton of scoring. 2 of the top 5 scorers in Colonial's history, including the top one in Wido, are gone. So that's tough to replace, but 9 juniors coming back. You mentioned Zach Lynch there. He is, I think, going to be the catalyst, the star next year up front. And then you look down the line, a lot of sophomores, some freshmen who contributed this year. The goaltenders, all the defensemen are going to be back. So another opportunity. The window is definitely still open for this Colonials team to contend, not just for Atlantic Hockey Championships, but to get back to where they really want to go, the NCAA tournament.
Now, quickly, last question. Aside from Zach Lynch, who it seems like is going to be, as you said, the catalyst, who else are you going to look towards in that junior class, that big junior class, to step up and take a huge role for this Colonial squad next season?
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Greg Gibson, and he finished the season on such a tremendous hot streak like he did his sophomore year when the Colonials went all the way to the NCAA tournament. He can score for you, but he can also skate. He can make plays, so I anticipate him being the top-line center for RMU next year. Even guys like Matt Cope and Brandon Denham, hardworking I guess, salt-of-the-earth type players. They don't really look to them to score goals. The Colonials don't. But at the same time, I think you're going to see them chip in maybe a little bit more than you might expect. It's just natural. When you go from being a sophomore to a junior, junior to a senior, you get more confidence. And I think we saw the progression this year, and one last shot for those guys next season.
Well, Matt, thanks for your time and everything you do. Hopefully this helped ease a little bit of the wound. It was pretty rough up there.
It was, and yeah, you get attached to these guys as the SID for sure, and a tough aftermath, but a week beyond, and yeah, thanks for having me. You do get a chance to talk about it. It does help. Some therapy, I guess, on the air here.
That's what we do here at Colonial SportsCenter, therapy as well. The 2014-15 Robert Morris Colonials men's hockey team rewrote the hockey record books here in Moon Township. The 24-8-5 record is the best record in RMU hockey history. The Colonials, who were ranked in the major college hockey polls for most of the regular season, also won their first ever Atlantic Hockey Conference regular season championship. Individually, Cody Wido became the program's all-time leader in points to add on to his title of all-time leader in goals. He was also nominated as one of 10 finalists for the Hobie Baker Award, college hockey's equivalent to the Heisman in college football. Wido was the first ever Colonial to reach the final 10, so obviously good luck to him. And watch out, Jack Eichel. I'm just saying.
Hey, how are ya?
How are ya?
Saying goodbye is often the hardest. I'm pretty sure that was a famous lyric. I cannot remember. It's probably better that way. Either way, the men's hockey program will say bon voyage to 4 masters of the ice. Cody Wido, Scott Jacqueline, Jeff Jones, and Dave Rigotti became the all-time leading class in wins. I hope that's correct. In the meantime, all right, I'm getting the head nod from Matt over there. Wido secured a pro deal already with Wheeling. Meanwhile, Jones, Jacqueline, and Rigotti are testing out their options at this moment. Of course, Cody Wido will leave Robert Morris University as the program's all-time leading scorer. So thank you all for your contributions to RMU hockey, and we here at CSC wish you the best in your future endeavors. So people that will be getting wished off from their high school or junior team, their future endeavored, but they're coming here.
So instead of looking towards the ones that are left, we look towards the future.
Exactly. We're going to do that coming up next. We have to leave you hanging somehow. Yeah, we're going to get into men's basketball, men's hockey. We're going to do as our rundown says and look ahead.
Clever.
Thank you. When we come back. The Red Sea. They need to be able to feed themselves. Penn State couldn't beat the Colonials in a game. It truly was a shame. And then Sacred Heart pioneered.
The RMU Century Media app is your mobile resource for all news Robert Morris. With access to campus news, RMU sports, and lifestyles, as well as RMU radio and RMU TV, the RMU Century Media app allows you access to all the information you need, no matter where you are. You'll have access to thousands of articles already online, and the new ones that are added daily. Download the RMU Century Media app for free today.
Hello, I'm back. How are you?
I missed you.
I missed you too. Choo choo! They're a train that keeps on rolling. Who would win in a fight, Ditka or a hurricane? I swear, each year could become a feel-good movie for the whole family. They just aren't losing. It's a shame, isn't it? Do you know how to tame a tiger? Either grow up with them or keep one as a pet like Mike Tyson.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure being by your side.
Okay. Welcome back. Let's look ahead. I'm looking at you. Well, yeah, so let's get into men's basketball first. The incoming freshmen that are official right now. We have 2 players that are going to make a huge impact on the roster. First off, let's start with Matty McConnell.
I knew you were going to start with McConnell.
Oh, I have to. From Chartiers Valley, look at him. 30.9 points per game in senior year. Scored 54 and grabbed 24 against our usual director's alma mater, Bethel Park.
That's a double-double.
It is a double-double, and on top of that, he's related to T.J. McConnell from the Arizona Wildcats.
That's got to be good. It's in the genes.
It absolutely is. He actually is on the verge of breaking his brother's record in the Whitfield, the league around here in Pittsburgh, for all-time scoring.
Dang.
Exactly. So we have him and we have Isaiah Still. That's the clone of Lucky Jones, 6'6", from New Jersey, almost 20 points per game, 4 rebounds, double threat, offense and defense.
So they take 2 players out in Jones and Apollon, and now McConnell and Still
exactly
are expected to fill pretty big shoes.
Well, huge shoes, really, like size 14. So we're going to move from the...
I wear size 16.
I don't. All right, so let's talk about men's hockey. Who do we have coming in?
You got Adam Brady and Alex Tonga. Those 2 in particular. Same squad, so obviously there's a big connection there. The hockey world really small. Also, Jacob Coleman, the Moon product.
Won't be here until 2 years from now.
Until he's signed 2 years from now, and of course Nicholas Santoro.
Along with him.
They'll
both be
2
here.
years.
Yep.
Hockey players sign early. It's really interesting.
It is.
But look at Brady and Tonga to make an impact as teammates, both in juniors and now at the collegiate level.
Which could make a very an interesting season next year. You have Wido and Jacqueline leaving. You have Tong and Brady coming in. So, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
So, as we look ahead to the future for basketball and hockey, when we come back here on Colonial SportsCenter, we're going to look at the week back. So, we're going to go back to the future a little bit.
Where's Marty McFly when you need him?
I don't know, but I want a DeLorean more than you even know. Coming up next, we have Primetime Plays, which feature some sunglasses you might see in an Oceans movie. Coming up next.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
And wrapped up. Wait, I told you it's an Oceans movie up in here. Well, that's not till number 4.
Number 5.
Number 5. Rodney Pryor's just wasting time till he shines. Get off me, Quinn Cook. There's a long tooth for you.
Number 4. Oh, I'm so ready for this. Oh, it's Kyle Gorsey of RMU Century Media. It's got 50 pairs of Oakleys, worth more than maybe tuition.
And all of them are fake.
Whoa,
Number
no
3.
Oakleys.
This is why Cody Wido is a Hobie Baker finalist. For reasons like this.
His final goal ever in an RMU sweater. Oh, it gives me shivers. Number 2. Hey, remember how... Oh, it was Duke. Okafor. Never mind. I thought it was an RMU alley-oop, but never mind. Okafor.
No.
Duke wins.
And Zach Frischman playing Heartbreak.
That had to be number 1. I've
It
seen
had
that
to be
like
number
6
1.
times today.
And those are your primetime plays of the week. So like we said, Penn State sweeping Robert Morris, and lacrosse not doing so well either.
And lacrosse loses to Sacred Heart 12-2, and then welcome in the number 3 Terrapins in Maryland. What happens? Maryland goes on a 10-0 run and then wins 13-4.
Not good enough. maybe we need to whip their habit of losing.
Not good enough.
Coming up next week, well, we have 3 left for the semester, and we promise it to be exciting with scores from all over the place. We will be all over the place. We will be freshly shaven because Dante will get batteries for his razor. Anything left? Good. Stunned silence. We'll see you all next week, everyone. Take great care.